Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another exciting edition of Bookward Bound. 301 days from I should really do this to done. And what is the done that I'm talking about? I'm talking about the self-publishing of a brand new book by, well, put it this way, the files are going to be uploaded on January 1st, 2021 to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing space so that I can have a new book to bring with me to Social Media Marketing World 2021, assuming the COVID gods allow. And this Bookward Bound is literally me coming back downstairs to my office and writing the book in real time in front of you. Or put it this way, I'm progressing the book forward in one form or another. And what do I mean by that? Well, some nights I'm going to be writing from scratch. Other nights I'm going to be editing or maybe do a little bit of reformatting, thinking about new sections of the book, outlining, mind mapping, that type of thing. And but the whole point is I'm doing something to move my book a little bit closer to actual publication date, which I hope to have. You know, the files are definitely going to be up January 1st, but then it takes a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 or 4, for it to go through the process with Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, and then even a little bit longer, perhaps, to be officially launched on Amazon so that it can be purchased from Amazon, right? So, that said, what am I doing tonight? Well, that's a really good question, and I think I'm going to take you on over to Scrivener, the application I'm using to write this book, and I'm looking at my list over here of sections, and you can see a green flag, red flag, blue flag. Red flag means, dude, you want to write about this, but you've written nothing about it, so literally nothing's been written. Blue means you've written quite a bit in this section, but it hasn't been final proofed. Yellow, which if I get my big old head out of the way, you can see down here that this section has a yellow flag. That means you've written some, but it still needs to be added onto. It's not quite finished yet. So the blue, which I'm looking at right there, this section has been written incompleteness, or has been completely written. How about if I say it that way? And it needs to be reviewed for spelling, grammar, repetition, redundancy, etc., etc., etc. So I think what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to read through this, and I'm going to be reading it aloud. Sorry, but that's one of my techniques, which is I really like my prose to be vocal, meaning that it should be readable. And it's also a really big pro tip of mine for anybody who's writing a book. If you read it aloud and you stumble over the sentence while talking, guess what the reader's going to do when they read it? They're going to stumble over it. Maybe it needs a comma. Maybe it needs slightly different wording or a different tone or shape for the sentence. All of these things can be revealed by essentially stubbing your linguistic toe, and you can only find that out when you read it. So I'm going to go through this, reading it aloud, and you get to read along with me. So first off, I'm going to just double check that, in fact, my type is the correct size. Yeah, it's all looking good. That should be 13 because it's a subhead. 13, no bolding. And of course, my wife thinks nothing is wrong about yelling upstairs to children on the upper floor. Live streaming. Just saying, Mom. Live streaming. This is how it goes. An artist's work is never done. All right. MD, CPA, PhD, EI, EIO. Some people are very proud of the letters that come after their names. As the contrarian son of 2 PhDs, I have a natural aversion to such things. And that aversion is not helped by the fact that I am the holder of a BS in theater. Yes, a Bachelor of Science degree for an art. Why? I have no idea. But the 13-year-old boy in me does love the fact that it's a BS, especially since my professional career has been in advertising. Wahahaha. My point is this. You can go through school for decades, earning as many advanced degrees in whatever you wish. Go on to continue adding certification acronymic character salads to the back end of your name, but all you're really doing is swapping one commodity bucket for another. If you've got an MD, congratulations, you're one of about 1.2 million. Got that coveted Java development certificate? Nice. You're one of 9 million plus. And that all caps Circle R realtor status? You're just one of 1,380,010 as of July 2019. I might have to update that. Yes, such certifications are necessary. Yes, you worked hard to earn them. But do they differentiate you within the highly credentialed commodity barrel you now find yourself within? You don't need that in there. See, this is why you read it aloud. You find out and go, I don't need an in there. But do they differentiate you within the highly credentialed commodity barrel you now find yourself? But do they differentiate you within the highly credentialed commodity barrel you now find yourself? No, they do not. What comes before your name is brand. What comes after it is commodity. I need to say something like over in essence, comma, what comes before your name is brand. What comes after is commodity. Here's another way to look at it. President Barack Obama, 3-time Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, Nobel Peace Prize winner Nelson Mandela, Pro Football Hall of Famer Vince Lombardi. Before the name distinctions do far more to differentiate than any post-name acronym ever could. In other words, if it comes in front, it's a one-of-one differentiator. But if it's tacked on at the end, it's merely putting you in a different commodity category. Don't get me wrong, certifications are more than necessary for a whole lot of great jobs and sustainable careers. But personally, I think too many people put too much stock in gathering an alphabet of near meaningless acronyms after their names when they should really be doing the type of thing that builds a personal brand that can achieve similar things and more by making you not just another one of many, but truly one of one. There's only one Oprah, one Dr. Anthony Fauci, one Brene Brown. You get the idea. I think I got to go yell at my kids. No, I'm going to text them violently. No, I'm going to go shut the door. Be right back. There you go. Took care of it. All right. One Brene Brown. You get the idea. Now at least 2 of the people in that list have significant academic degrees and professional credentials, and the other has earned 4 honorary doctorates from Princeton, Howard, Duke, and Harvard. But you know how they became the household names they are? By, say it with me, demonstrating who they are, what they do, and how they do it. Or WYA, WYD, HYDI in public. Building a brand on the power of shame. Just take Brene Brown's story as an example. She's got a PhD, which would enable her to demand people call her Dr. Brown, but to the best of my knowledge, she doesn't. In a very smart branding move, she's kept her uniquely spelled name as her primary moniker. Did you know that's not her first name? Did you know that's not her first name? According to Wikipedia, she was named after her mother, Cassandra, which makes her using Brene even smarter. There never was any witch Cassandra confusion in the Rogers household because her name was contextually unique. That's smart branding times 3. I'm going to say that's smart branding times 3. She first popped up on my radar a number of years ago when I was on a TED Talk binge watch. Her 2012 presentation, The Power of Vulnerability, was fantastic. Was fantastic, and took her from a newly minted PhD in social work in 2002 to international thought leader in just 10 years. How'd she do it? She demonstrated her work on stage at TED and has racked up more than 47 million blah, 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 blah views as of this writing. Ooh, end paren. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out at URL. I'm going to take this, remove link, and just keep the words. It wasn't quite that easy, for sure. It wasn't quite easy. It wasn't easy, I'm sure. I'm just going to keep... It wasn't easy, I'm sure. It doesn't hurt that she's a natural on stage, charming in a very human way, and is immediately likable as a Labrador Retriever. But she was talking about her deep research into vulnerability, shame, and all the stuff we never want to talk about. So guess what? She is now the one-of-one expert on such things for all of us lay people who don't spend their days reading academic journals. If you're interested in her topic, and yes, it is her topic to the vast majority of the English-speaking world, you're going to seek out her books, her lectures, and her live events. In a normal world, teaching and researching a relatively obscure subject at a university rated 185 by the U.S. News and World Report would be a great position to have if you're in the Federal Witness Protection Program. But she was able to hack the usual system for climbing the academic ladder by sidestepping it altogether via this new free thing called the internet. And the absolutely killer thing is that her first TED Talk wasn't even an official TED Talk at all. It was at the kids' table of TED, a TEDx Houston presentation in June of 2010. She didn't get on the TED main stage until 2 years later with her next fantastic talk, Listening to Shame. Again, you need to check it out. And I need to go. At TED Talks. Brene Brown's path from rookie PhD to world-renowned pop culture personality is a perfect example of what being and having a completely true, completely you nonfiction brand is all about. If you're looking for a great example upon which to build your personal brand, on which to go to school as you work on your personal brand, you could do a whole lot worse than Dr. Brown. Read more about her Maybe more about that in Equinox later on in the book. Okay, so that's the end of that section. 953 words, and the way my book is designed on the interior, I'm thinking the inside pages are going to be about 300 to 350 words per page. So this will be a 3-page section, which is great because this is not a novel that is going to be a continuous linear path or, you know, have plots that go pinging all over the place. It's going to be read this section, read this section, read this section. It's designed to be like a sandwich, something you can eat in 10 minutes. Some of the sections are going to actually have subsections that are more like eating, what would be small, something small, a side of fries. No, those can be messy. Maybe like falafel. One falafel ball. And other sections are going to be like more of a full meal. And that's good because people read differently. And I've always, when I've dealt with people, especially young designers and copywriters, I'll say you've got to allow for multiple types of people reading in multiple types of ways. And every piece of copy or book or anything else should have multiple points of entry. And what I mean by that is a multiple point of entry would be some people are going to look up here and go, MD, CPA, PhD, yeah, oh, that's kind of funny. They're going to scan down. Here's another way to look at it. President Barack Obama. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Hold on. I'll show you. So they're up here at the headline. They're scanning down the page. Subhead. In essence, what comes before your name is brand. I don't know if that needs to be brand. Brand, what comes after? Commodity is commodity. What comes after is commodity. There we go. Then other people might grab, oh, Barack Obama, Meryl Streep, Vince Lombardi. Oh, I should read. Oh, I should go read this whole thing because it sounds interesting then, right? Other people are going to just go headline, subhead. Oh, building a brand on the power of shame. I wonder what that's about. And they're going to find their way into the book through these entry points. It's not read the first word all the way through the last word. It's jump in, back up, go back to the top, jump forward to the end, whatever. You've got to allow people and give them the opportunity to get into your reading however they want to do it. Right? Right. Hey, by the way, if you're watching this right now and you have any questions, go ahead and type it into your comment box. I'm right now live streaming to YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Doesn't matter what you're on. Just type in a comment or a question or just say, hey, David, I'm here. And I would love to hear from you. But anyway, this section of the book, I'm now feeling comfortable with enough to give it the coveted green flag for, hey, it's done for now. I'm going to worry about, I get every section to the green stage, and then I start collating, compiling it into an entire book so I can read it sequentially to see if it all makes sense. And as you can see, the front part of the book is getting better, but there's still a bunch of red there I need to write. And then there's a bunch of blue that needs to be looked at. There's a yellow, which is actually very exciting. I'm going to be, I think it's Thursday, that I'll be having Jay Baer on the Nonfiction Brand podcast. And I'm really excited about that because Jay is, I've seen him on stage. I've followed him. I'm a regular follower of Convince and Convert, his kind of web property where, he started out, but now he's really branched out and become a national and an international speaker. I think he may be a member of the Speakers Hall of Fame, if there is such a thing. I'll find that out on Thursday. But I'm going to be writing about him. And let me tell you, this is part of the level up power of writing a book and having a podcast. In the case of Jay Bear, he doesn't know me from Adam. You know, I've been in his audience a couple times. I doubt he'd recognize me. There are multiple hundred people there. So to him, I'm just anonymous, right? Well, I had the opportunity to contact him and say, hey, Jay, I want to write about you in this book I'm working on. And I even told him the essentially, do you see up there the headline? A penchant for plaid. Well, he loves to wear these really colorful plaid suits. They are definitely not clown colored or anything like that, but they are very colorful, and they're his signature. And he knows that. Why? Because he's a smart marketer. It's a talk trigger, if I can use his term for it. It gets people talking about him. And I wanted to write about him in the book and all that stuff, but the best way I can do that is get him on the podcast and talk to him extensively, because I'm going to get so much more information out of him. So I'm looking forward to that. That'll be happening this Thursday. And anyway, you'll see that I need graphic screenshots of what suit should I wear today. I think he's done that in the past. And like if he's done a 4-shot, a quadrant photo on Instagram, A, B, C, D, which suit should I wear today? I need to get that screenshot and put it in the book, because he's actively showing people that, hey, I'm going to be speaking at this event. What suit should I wear today? Okay, the winner is D. I'm going to be wearing this suit. Be sure if you see me in the hallways to come up and say hi. You know, he's building all this smart marketing and brand building this into everything he does. And I'm really excited to talk to him on the podcast and get more information here. Now, I could write a whole section about him without actually talking to him, but it's going to be a whole lot better if I actually get to talk to him. We get to know each other, and all of a sudden, I've got someone who could become a big booster of the book because he's in it. We'll see. But having a podcast and writing a book gives you a big opportunity to talk to some people who are flying at an altitude way above you, and a really realistic way to get them to talk to you in a meaningful way, in a way that is less, hi, I'm your biggest fan, and more like, hey, we're peers. That's right. If you want to fly at that higher altitude, you got to fly up to their altitude, and you've got to be their peer, not their supplicant. Anyway, that'll be happening Thursday, recording the podcast, and he'll probably air, his podcast episodes will probably air end of June, because I've scheduled some other people in there. So that's very cool. I've also got a ton of other sections I got to work on. The incredible about the trust chain. Oh, I got to finish up this section. It's at a good length. Let's see if I can add to it right now. The trust chain. So back to that story about Mark and our deck. If you go back and count, you'll discover I used some form of the word trust 3 times. I did this on purpose because the foundation of any good, long-lasting relationship is trust. I'm going to give that is a little bit of a italic, just because I'm cueing people on how they should read it, is trust. It's also absolutely fundamental to building your completely true, completely you personal brand. Do trust and true come from the same linguistic root? I had to know, so I looked it up. Here's what I found. Ooh, have I done that yet? Oh, let's look it up right now. So there's Brene Brown, by the way. That's Brene Brown's TED Talk, her second one, Listening to Shame. They're really great talks. If you don't know Brene Brown, you need to get on that for sure. Trust and true, same root. Let's see. Root deru. trust, tar, trim, trade trough, trust, comedy. Fid means trust. The Latin root word origin is fido, trust. No link. It doesn't help me. Truth and trust. Wahrheit, veritas. Truth is based on the notion of trust, possibly a Proto-Germanic root truvas, for belief and faithfulness. Oh, this might be too tough. Trust, verb, to trust, rely on, from tresta, Old Norse. Reliance, deru, trust. Old Norse, traust, help, confidence, support, protection. Yes, no. Old Norse. A trust. First noun trust. A noun. No, that didn't help me out. Fid. Trust and truth. What's the difference? Poeticum. Proto-Germanic. Old Norse. Proto-Germanic root. Old Norse. Blah, blah, blah. Evidently, they no common root, but are very closely aligned in whatever language you happen to speak. The interesting thing to me is that the only way you can earn trust is exactly the same as how you go about building your personal brand. That should be a semicolon. You demonstrate it. Trust is a gift from others to you, but only when you've demonstrated you deserve it. The ability to build a business based on trust is hugely important. And valuable. We all know of companies that have been bought by sketchy companies in the hopes that trust would help burnish the former companies would rub off on the latter. But guess what? It never does. Because unless the latter company demonstrates that they've completely changed for the better. By demonstrating it every day. Trust simply does not transfer. In my humble opinion, we're seeing that play out right now with Facebook's purchase and subsequent forced union with Instagram. You can tell that union hasn't been going to it's never a good sign when the two founders who got a light problem. Hold on. Who built the trust decide can no longer stomach what the changes the buying he makes speaking. And they leave. Instagram be able to maintain even grow the trust earned pre Zuckerberg making popcorn. With great interest. All right, so this is a long paragraph. How many words is it? Scrivener will tell you right down there, 188 words. That's not terrible. Bingo, right there. I can hop in, turn these into more bite-sized paragraphs. In my humble opinion, we're seeing dynamic. Trust. I think it comes to the single goal that should be your North Star. It should be your is trust. Is trust. Something you can never ask me. Only shyster? Is that how you spell shyster? I'm going to look up dictionary. Hold on. Moving the wrong thing. Shyster. Only shysters ask you to trust them. But it is a gift you can earn by deserving. Trust by deserving it in every single post, not in every post, every email, social post, online meeting, in person, event, and human interaction. To earn trust is everything. To lose that trust is cataclysmic. Cataclysmic is... No, cataclysmic, that's too much. Oh, cataclysmic. Let's look up thesaurus. Catastrophic. Yes. I'll go for catastrophic. Catastrophic. Is that how you spell it? Catastrophic. When it comes to the single goal that should be your North Star, when it comes, oh, is trust? What the hell's that? When it comes to the single goal that should be your North Star, comma, there is no better goal when it comes to the single aspect, the single quality. There's none better than trust. All right, does that make sense? When it comes to the single quality that should be your North Star, there is none, there is no, it's not quality, single. You know, looking up words in a thesaurus is not a cheat. It's a time saver. I used to think it was kind of a cheat, but no, it's a time saver. Characteristic aspect point. There is no better trait, no better trait than trust. Trait than trust. Trait. There's no better quality trait. A distinguishing quality or characteristic. There we go. Trait. There is no better trait. There is no better trait. There is no better trait than trust. See, that trait than trust is a nice little assonance thing going on there. Alliteration. T, trait and trust. And assonance. Okay, so remember from the movie or the play Educating Rita, what is assonance? To get the rhyme wrong. This is assonance. No better trait than trust. It's something you can never ask for, comma, because only shysters, and I like charlatan as a word, ask you to trust to. Just trust him. Just trust me. Just trust me. It is a gift It is an award you earn. It is an award you earn by deserving it in every email, social post, online meeting, in-person event, and absolutely every human interaction. To earn that trust, to earn trust is everything. To lose it is catastrophic. And when you have that trust, begin to create a chain connections. Mark Williamson did with us, and we have extended his trust chain to an unknown number of friends and neighbors throughout the area. Fact is, Mark doesn't do or even need marketing at all, because he's earned an entire chain of trust. Bingo, that's the end of that one. So now, good. And this is how it works. So right now, I'm getting my head out of the way. You can see that there's a yellow flag, the incredible power of face-to-face and face-to-feed. I think this section's done, so I'm going to award it a blue flag, which means, oops, gave the wrong one. I think it just copied that. It duped it. Yeah, that's what it did. Let's see. B. Hit that with bold. Fact is, Mark doesn't do or even need marketing at all, because he's earned an entire chain of a chain. He's earned an entire chain of trust. All right. So that's blue now. So maybe tomorrow I'll look at it and make final changes to it. Right now it's at 1485 words. And all those characters, paragraphs, 21 paragraphs. This is cool. Average paragraph length 70 words. Average sentence length is 15. That's good. I mean, yeah, digging it. All right, so I'm done for tonight, because I took one section that was done but needed to be finished and get that green flag, did that, and then I stuck around to actually take a yellow flag one, which meant that it wasn't quite done being written, and I finished it. Great. So I gave that a blue flag. So that's a really good night. Didn't think I would get that far tonight, but I'm glad I did. And cool. So that's it for tonight. I'm going to be, of course, here tomorrow night doing the same damn thing at about 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time here in the Central Time Zone, USA. And I invite you to come back, because having made the commitment to you, that's what actually gets me off my butt upstairs and back downstairs to actually work on this thing. And let that be a suggestion too. If you have a big someday goal, stop making it someday, start doing it today, and announce it to people so that they will help keep you honest and keep you working